I have a question, and I need an honest answer. How many of you out there people watch? Hands up high, okay, grocery store, doctor's office, airport, food court. Keep them up, because I have to explain you in one word. I need to describe you. You ready for the word? Judgmental. Put your hands down. Absolutely judgmental. And for the individuals who don't know what people watching is, it is the act of observing people in public spaces without their knowledge. We make all kinds of observations about their appearance, their interaction, and their behavior. And it is okay that you are a people watcher. I myself am one, and I take this thing seriously. But to get back to the judgmental piece, we do this in public spaces. We kind of size people up to make sure it's safe to be around them. And sometimes that's informed by our implicit bias. And other times when our social spaces, we size people up and we judge them to make sure they're trustworthy. So whether you raised your hand or not, I am quite sure you've been a people watcher. As I told you, I take this thing absolutely seriously. So there's a recipe to this thing. The first thing you do is you go grab yourself a hot cup of methodical coffee. Yes, you accentuate it with some dark shades because you want to remain inconspicuous. You want to camouflage with the environment. Don't wear loud colors. Second thing you do is you assign pseudonyms to the people who are walking by. You don't want them to know you're talking about them. Yes? Okay? And after you do that, you talk about their spouse, you talk about their ex, you talk about their savage in-laws, you talk about the supervisor at work. And when you there's an advanced level to people watching. When you want to get there, you just throw in a little affair, a little scandal, a little Shonda Rhimes. Doesn't hurt anything. After all, you're the narrator. It's your story. Now, nobody gets away from people watching when it comes to me. Not even your dogs. The other day I was sitting in Unity Park and looking, and there was this large German Shepherd that walked by. And I said to myself, look at how he's walking. You can trust him to guard the front door from the Amazon driver, but never trust him around your French fries. Yes? So they said it takes two to make a thing go right. I called my grandmother. They say we look alike. I said, Lizzie, girl, what you doing today? You want to go people watching? She said, absolutely, son. I said, well, I usually get coffee. You good with coffee? She said, that thing make my heart flutter, but I'm good with some ice cream. I said, I got you, sis. I got you. That conversation on the bench changed my life, but it also made me cackle because she loves a good people watcher too. We're sitting there on the bench, and it's obvious that this 20-something-year-old comes walking by. And she's prancing right in front of us, short skirt, hair all over the place, lipstick not even matching the fit. And with the coffee and with the ice cream in one hand and the spoon in the other, she says, Now, if you know anything about black talk, she said a mouthful with no words. I cackled. Curiosity got the best of me. I had to break character. I looked over at her like, girl, what just happened? She said, she ain't got no mirror and she sure ain't got no friends. But who are me? That day, I took her back home, and I'm constantly laughing, but I'm also thinking at the same time, no mirror, nor friends, no mirror, nor friends. What if we stopped people watching and narrating the world and switched to some inner people watching? If we paid close attention to the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings that we have, what would happen? If we navigated and revisited our predisposed ideas about the world, if we revisited our previous successes and failures, the love that we received or didn't receive from our family, what would you find? And what would you do with that information? Oh, it's a process of understanding the self. I think Miles Monroe got it right. He said, the best discovery is self-discovery. Because until you discover who you are, you'll always be someone else. It sent me on a journey to better understand the self. And so I rooted that in a theoretical concept called self-concept. That is one, the image you hold of yourself. Two, the story you tell yourself about that image. And thirdly, you take that story and that's how you see the world. Now, I've worked with a lot of high schoolers, middle schoolers, and a wide range of individuals who say, I want you to be my mentor. Beautiful. But what I have found is that all of them have a storyline that explains their decisions. Brené Brown said, whether it's right or wrong in what you believe, don't go into the world looking for reasons as to why you're unworthy, because you will find it. And I added to that, if you don't find it, the power within you will create it. You see, all of us have an inner belief that helps us to understand the world. And it may not even be true. If it's happening out there in the world, it's got to be happening in here. Life is like a mirror. Now, you can choose to desecrate the mirror or you can polish it up. But at the end of the day, you can't change the reflection by changing the mirror. You must go internal. So I got a little curious. And I had to find and go back to Toni Morrison. She said, in order for you to fly, you got to give up the stuff, I would dare not say what she said, that weighs you down. The stuff that she was referring to was the storyline that we so utilize on a day-to-day basis. The storyline is what keeps us arrested in the boardroom when we respond like the 5 or 6 year old little boy or little girl. And so through a process of inner people watching and curiosity, I wanted to understand what my storyline was. And I found that everywhere in life, it looked the same. So was something wrong with life or was something wrong with my filter? My storyline was, I'm not enough. In therapy and with some genuine friends, I found out where it came from. First of all, I was gifted with a dark spacesuit to navigate this thing called life. And I ended up being one of the darkest kids in the class. And that landed me to become the center of complexion jokes, which is colorism, a form of internalized racism. So I decided within myself that my skin could never be looked upon with admiration. Something is vehemently wrong with me. Secondly, I was diagnosed with asthma at 9 months old. Now, for African American males of color, it's very typical that they become athletic. That was never me, boo. Never me. Now, to some degree, athleticism is encouraged, and intelligence is usually backgrounded. Now, I did play football because mom and dad said they wanted to be football parents. I spent most of the games on the bench and sitting next to them. Because of asthma, my story then became, something is wrong with me. I can't compete with them. I'm not good enough. I also was raised in a Christian black church, which was Holy Broadway every Sunday morning. A good time. Shouting circles, praise breaks, all of it. But in that environment, I learned that something was wrong with them. And if I stepped outside of the social parameters of what I knew, something was wrong with me too. Finally, I didn't graduate in the top 10% of my class. It was like the top 70, if that's a thing. So what I decided within myself is if I'm struggling in high school, then life will be a struggle. College will be a struggle. Well, needless to say, it was at first until I met a Rafiki. We'll talk about that in a few. So I asked the question, how could I persist beyond my personal or limiting beliefs? How do I create the life I want? Well, the answer was simple. Change your image, change your story, change your filter, change your life. But before I get to the tips and the cues, I need to address some people. I know somebody's out there saying, this guy, where'd you find him from? Does he not know I turned over $1 million in revenue in the first year of business? There's someone else who's saying, I'm happy with the way my life is right now, and I don't need you changing that. But then there's someone else who's saying, I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just with whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with my life. The question that I would ask you is this. Isn't life an iterative process of change, growth, and development? And if that be the case, why in the heck are you here? It sends me back to one of my favorite movies, The Lion King. Simba came in contact with Rafiki outside in the meadows. They go through dialogue, and for years, Simba had been running from guilt and shame associated with his father's death. So when it was time for him to tell Rafiki who he was very quick to articulate his story. You see, my father had died. You know, life has not been good. I'm paraphrasing here. And Rafiki says, he's alive, and I will show you to him. They went through the thorns, the thistles, the branches, and they landed at the meadows. He landed by a mirror, water. He looked at himself. He could not see the power of his father because he was stuck in his story of guilt and shame. So Rafiki told him to look harder because he lives in you. That led to the epiphany that sent him running again. But this time he wasn't running from the guilt and shame. He was running to his higher self. His father, in so many words, told him to remember who you are. Look at what you've become. You've forgotten about me, so therefore you've forgotten about you too. You are more than what you've become. Rafiki intercepted his story, interrupted his storyline, and dared him to change his life. And so I want to offer you 3 keys to pursue your highest self. The first one is be open to the fact that you have consulted with a storyline that has limited your access to a full life. If you don't know what it looks like and you don't know when it shows up, we say it all the time. We say, dang, I'm stupid for that. I always mess up. I can never get it right. And needless to say, it shows up in your life and makes it true for you because life is a mirror. Secondly, get you some friends like Sister Lizzie who can call you in, call you out, and ultimately call you up. They know when you're settling because things are too easy for you. They know when you're wanting to give up because the challenge doesn't line up with your story. As for me, I am not enough continued to show up. It showed up at Claflin University when I was in my undergraduate program. In that teacher education program, there are 6 exams you have to take before you can graduate. On the 3rd exam, I failed it 5 times. So I told my friend, who's now Dr. Thomas Turner, I said, listen, I done failed this thing too many times. I already know I can't get it. I'm not enough. I'm just going to go home and clock out. He said, bruh, let me tell you something. He said, sometimes you have to believe what people say about you until you have the courage to believe it for yourself. And I dared to believe him. Needless to say, here I am. I persisted. And finally, you got to shift your narrative. Make sure you utilize affirmations and speak highly about yourself. So I'm going to help you out. If you don't know where to start, here are some of the affirmations that I utilize on a day-to-day basis. I want you to say this one with me. I am enough. Right here, right now. Now, I got the rest. I identify myself with happiness and abundance and everything necessary to make my life complete. I wonder what'll show up when you say something like that. Secondly, I am filled with enthusiastic hope. Need another one? Got you covered. All things are working for my highest and greatest good. I like this one. I deny myself no thing. And when all else fails and I forget what I need to say or I forget my lines or I forget my affirmations, like I really could do that. Child, I got affirmations on the bathroom mirror. I got it on the laptop. I got it in the car. I got it in the kitchen. Everywhere where I go for rest and nourishment, I have it there. But when I forget what to say and I'm at work and I don't have the post-it notes with me, I just turn my cell phone on selfie mode and I look at myself and I be like, I'm him. Because why not? Like, really, I am him. I am that guy. So as the Rafiki of your life today, I want to challenge you to change the way you see yourself. I want to challenge you to take a good people watching moment and look inward. Recognize that you might be identifying yourself with the storyline that's disempowering you. You might be, number 2, you might need to find some friends who can call up the highest and best version of you. And finally, you need to only speak highly about yourself. What would your friends say if they know how you talk to yourself in your head? You have what it takes to live your highest and best life. I know you got it. Thank you. Wait. I forgot to tell you what Sister Lizzie told me. While we were sitting at the park bench, she said, baby, I done lived my life. I done got old. I used to clean the tall people houses for a living. I had to iron their sheets so they wouldn't go to bed. They would chastise me. I couldn't go to high school because as a little black girl, I couldn't go. But look at you. You done went to high school and went to school 2 more times since then. Don't even know where you got out of that, but you went. She said, I made some mistakes and some things have happened. But I accept that it happened to me. But it's not me, baby. She said, the sun never stopped coming up for me. And air never denied my lungs its presence. She said, life must have known something that I didn't know. Life must have known what they didn't know. Life must have known that I was worthy. Baby, just see yourself as worthy. Just see yourself as enough.